Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, Episode 40, Secret 6, Volume 2. And hi, I'm the host, Ross Aiken, and I'm here with Kirby again, and we're going to talk more Secret 6. So hi, Kirby.
Hi, Russ. Thank you for having me back for this.
Well, we were looking for a subject, and then it was like, okay, Secret 6, again. Which is good, because I have not read this stuff maybe since... I know I read it a few times after it came out, but I hadn't read it in a long time. And I'm gonna gush a bit. That's just gonna happen with this because I really enjoyed this one. So we're not gonna do. I will cut in and do really quick synopsises between issues, but I'm not gonna make Kirby listen to all those, and I will edit that in as we go. But first, let's just kind of go. This is Secret 6, Volume 2, Number 1, was the first issue, and it was cover dated July 2006. So this ran from July, August, September, October, November. So that would make it basically March through something. I do wish the DC page had the actual publication date on everything. Oh, wait a minute. This one does have it. That's not everything. This was first published May 24th, 2006. So it ran from May, June, July, August, September. May through September of 2006. This is a sequel to Villains United, which is really a Secret 6 book. And that's a good thing. And we talked about that when we talked about this. Let me ask you this. You got this as a back issue. You did not get this as it was coming out.
Right. So I think I came into Secret 6 with the ongoing with like issue 3 or 4. So I got this after I had read that whole initial run that ended when the New 52 started. So this is still me filling in the gaps until I get to where I came in. So
yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, and as I started reading this one, I thought it had a different scene because it starts in the prison camp. And I was thinking of a different story when I started reading. Oh, it's got this fucked up scene. And do you know what I'm talking about? I think with the it's like it's like a rent a concentration camp.
Yes. When we get to that, I have a lot to say on that.
That is a comic there's a single issue, folks. In the one they get their first big run. That is one of the most disturbing, twisted. That's an evil villain. It's like the most evil villain I've ever seen in a comic book.
We need.
No, we're going to continue. We're going to continue doing these because it's a reason for me to read them, and I enjoy talking to you about them. But let's start with issue 1, and written executive editor Dan Diodato. There was good comics when Dan was in charge. I don't think he's the only one who made mistakes, but he gets a lot of blame for a lot of weird shit. And some of it's deserved. Cover artist is Carl Kerschel. I do like these covers, and I do like how they kind of brand it from the pages of Villains United. And it's got Catman,
Ragdoll, Deadshot, Vandal Savage, and Cheshire up in the corner.
Even though she's not a member.
Right.
But she's a big part of the story. And we're going to talk about memberships in a second because I'm going to do a roll call. This was written by Gail Simone, drawn by Brad Walker, who I love. Anytime I see Brad Walker on a book, I'm very, very happy. He is so different with this inker, Jimmy Palmiotti.
Who I forget started as an inker.
Yeah, well, he's a good inker.
He is.
He inks his wife, doesn't he?
I'm sorry, what?
He inks his wife's stuff, doesn't he? Because his wife's a writer. Yeah.
I think a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're such gorgeous. That Power Girl horror. I just got that Power Girl trade that has everything in it.
Oh, so good. That's gorgeous art. That's gorgeous.
It is. Yeah, and I didn't hate the Power Girl special, but don't steal powers from another character. Because they basically just gave her America Chavez's powers. What?
I'll plead the fifth on that special for me, but
Yeah, It is what it is, but it's not. It's not. Just let Amanda Conner do it. That's just save yourself the problems. Colorist is Paul Mounts, who I do not know, but he does a really good job. Travis Lanham, who I don't know that well, and he does a good job. And editor Tom Palmer Jr. And I have not looked to see if he is Tom Palmer's kid. So while that's loading, let's talk about the lineup on this. It's Deadshot, Catman, Ragdoll, Scandal, Knockout, and they recruit a new member in this issue.
Yes.
I love the recruiting, who they recruit. Really like the idea of the Mad Hatter being a member of the Six.
Yes. One of the best uses of Mad Hatter I've read.
I think it's one of the only good ones. I mean, I think he's a hard character to write.
So much of my opinion is like formed from Batman the Animated Series, where it was like, was it Roddy McDowall? Roddy
McDowall played him in the TV show in 1966, the Adam West show. He may have been the voice in the cartoon because he's still alive. Why don't you look that up while we chat?
Sorry, I gotta look that up. It really bugged me.
Well, that's fine, because I did look cut to the editor of this book is the son of one of the greatest inkers of all time, Tom Palmer. So I like that. Because I do. His dad is one of the best fucking inkers that ever walked the planet. And we just lost him last year. Oh no, we lost him earlier this year. It was this year. But the Society appears in it. Its lineup is Dr. Psycho, The Calculator, Talia Al Ghul, Lady Vic, Pistorella, Ibac, Vicious, Double Dare. Some of these I don't even know. We hear about Parademon, poor Parademon. I forgot that they lived in the House of Secrets just in the short time between we read Villains United. I like that.
Yep, and I can't remember. At some point, they say it's in Rutland, Vermont, going back to what we were talking about before the show started.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yep. And it was Roddy McDowall as Mad Hatter in the animated series.
Yeah, he played him. Yeah, because I remember he played him in the '66 show. But I like it. I like this roll call. I think because Deadshot and Catman and Ragdoll are the ones that stick around the most.
Scandal will also be a through line.
Yeah. Is she in the later ones in that final volume where the team really changes?
No. Boy.
I don't think I've read that.
Man, I got opinions on that one.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it, but she's not. Ragdoll and another character we have not met yet will make some guest appearances on there.
Okay.
So the only through line throughout this, all of that, including that that run, is Catman, because Deadshot eventually has to go off and be on the Suicide Squad throughout New 52, and some other members of the Six just aren't on anymore.
All right. I want to eventually read that New 52 Suicide Squad, whether I like it or not, just to kind of, because I do like the concept of it. And some of the people who worked on it, I don't dislike. I just, it's not... I'm very particular because I think Gail Simone, with this series, Ostrander, and there was something recently that made me feel about something like this book. And I'm brain farting on it. But I kind of liked it. It was a little like that. But it was something recent I read, and I can't remember it. It really struck me as similar to that. So I like these. One reason I like this book, it is very much like Suicide Squad. But it does have a different hook, and we have the hook in this one, because this whole story is about revenge.
Yeah, no, this is dealing with this is a whole arc of dealing with consequences and just there's a lot of fallout from Villains United throughout all 6 of these issues, and what happens in here will have even further consequences and revenge going on down the line in Secret Six as shit gets really dark.
Yeah. But let's kind of go through issue 1. Second. I hate doing this on my phone. But if I did it on my computer screen, it would just be click, 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 click. You guys would get really sick of it. So we're going to start with number 1. And the cover, as we said, is absolutely gorgeous. It's on the app, folks, and so this volume is you get it or the trade, which I like on the DC app that you can have both. Speaking of which, I will probably let me switch over to that because it will be easier. I won't have to jump in and out. But when did you get this as it was coming out?
No. So no. So this is while I kind of was starting getting into DC regularly, but I don't think I started the ongoing until I might have been in early college, and then I got this after college at some point. So again, this is just me going back and oh, okay, this is the second part of this before the ongoing, and because after this we have the Birds of Prey, and then we'll get to where I actually started proper.
Yeah, I'm looking at this in the trade version. It has both miniseries in it. I forgot that when we read it last time. So that would be probably the cheaper trade. They are. After we talked last time, I looked about. I'll get them on eBay. They can't be that bad. And I went, oh yeah, they can.
Yeah.
But the last volume is really expensive. So.
Yeah, I've got all of them, and I'm not getting rid of them.
Yeah. All right, so this one starts in a prison camp in North Korea. And somebody who we don't know what it is yet has been tied up. He's got a bag over his head, but one eye's out. That should give you a hint to who is in the chair. And this other prisoner is basically telling him how bad they are. They've killed his family, blah, blah, and he's a translator, and they're all going to go out there and get shot. And then we cut away to, which is, I'm loving this art. I'm really loving the Brad Walker art. And I like the Dale Eaglesham in the first story. And I was not an Eaglesham fan the first time I saw his art. It took a while, and his Justice Society in this, and then his Terrifics. Just now, when I see his name, I'm like, I want it. I want to see it. But this Brad Walker stuff's good. And then the next then we have a 3-page cutaway to the rest of the 5. There isn't a 6th member jumping out of a plane, which is being flown by. Is that Murdoch from A-Team?
I guarantee, Gail, it's supposed to be.
Oh yeah, it is. I've got no problem with that. I have a guilty pleasure. I like the A-Team movie.
Really, I did too.
It was really bad but fun. And they took it. That no one took it seriously, because I remember that show as a kid, and there was nothing about it to be taken seriously.
That was a cartoon, live-action cartoon then, and it was in the movie.
Oh my God! So I like how they're all wearing white costumes, but is that really going to keep you
warm?
Yeah. Well, Knockout doesn't matter because she's a new god.
But I guess it's supposed to be their camouflage gear, but I don't know how well that's going to really work.
But I love how they're going to execute. So we all know it's Floyd in the mask, and and at this point you're kind of sure. Oh, he's there as a plant.
Mm-hmm.
And oh God, why do you keep doing this fast? All right, so there's all this jabbering going on. I do like this. If this is the one I'm thinking, the Commandant says that you have one last chance to tell him who you came here to kill. He says you do not deserve this. Well, he says he say you do not deserve this mercy. Tell him I'll talk. And then Floyd goes, tell him I'll talk. And it basically goes. He gives him who it is, this person, and they're laughing. And then Floyd goes, "I wasn't telling you my target. I was telling him about my client, On's widow." And then he does this backflip and kicks the gun to the guy who's holding it to the back of his head and kills the commandant. And I just love it. It's like Deadshot is a Deadshot even when he doesn't have the gun.
Exactly. And again, just simple, quick. I don't know if it was ever really supposed to be a mystery with who was in the bag, but God, I love it.
Oh no! And then Knockout lands as they're about to kill Floyd, and he's just, "You're late," and she goes, "You're late," and she goes, "No, I'm right on time, Pop It." And then they just start killing people.
And one thing I just gotta get is Gail Simone now knows what Ragdoll's like voice is, and just this weird little sycophantic creep of, "I'm afraid I don't speak Korean. I feel very rude killing you in my native tongue." He just gets weird, and he gets weirder and weirder, and I love it.
Oh, I do too. They are one of my favorite characters. And then it's just this big fight.
Eventually, the Secret Six are just decimating the entire North Korean camp. Catman goes, "Lawden, I know we're not the Justice League, but I can't just leave the prisoners like this. We won't have to." And you just see a shot of like the prisoners walking up, grabbing the guns that were turned on them a second ago, and you can just feel. Oh no, never mind. They show them just executing their former captors, so all's well.
Yeah, but it's
Hopefully.
great. I mean, it's a great fight scene. And then they escape in the Jeep, and then we cut away in their back. And we just get to see them living. And I like that they're friendly. They're the bond. It's not a lot of villains arguing. These 5 people like each other. They like being together. You know, they know what they're in for. I do like the House of Secrets. I like their headquarters. I like a good headquarters. And then we cut away to the society, and these are 3. Talia's not a schmuck, but the Calculator and Dr. Psycho are schmucks.
You just sometimes need the people to do the grunt work, and that's what they're here for.
Yeah. And Cheshire. So I got a question, and I'd forgotten that Cheshire was pregnant by Catman.
Yes.
So does she have a child by both Catman and Roy?
Yes, I think she brings that up later on in this arc. She's talking about custody rights at some point.
Oh, okay.
So Thomas Jr. and Leanne Harper, so they're half siblings.
Well, then I like it, because I was just like, is that just lazy fucking writing? And I forgot, because I'd forgotten about it. And I like Leanne as a character. I like Roy. I think Roy gets screwed up by someone I like, whoever wrote. I think it was Robinson.
It was Robinson.
Yeah, that's the one time I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
He was going through some stuff for that period of his life.
Yeah. I really want to read that Airboy. Everybody says...
I've read that. That's 4 issues I paid for reading a man's midlife crisis.
Oh, my God. All right. So that I'm looking forward to. But I got to see that they all have lives. Ragdoll likes to go to nice restaurants and be creepy. Floyd spends time with his daughter.
And just because I've gone through Captain Carrot, I now know the Fox and Crow umbrella that she's talking about is a reference.
Fox and Crow was a character before then.
Right, from like the 40s, like Funny Animals.
It would be like a mini thing sometimes too, like, God, with the Sugar and Spike and stuff like that.
We just have Scandal and Knockout just kind of vacationing in, I think it's Bangkok?
Yep. Yeah.
And then the issue just ends with Catman, nope, never mind. Ignore me for a second.
Oh, yeah, Catman goes to Mad Hatter's house. Someone, Eyeback, who's a Shazam villain that I'm not as familiar with because I haven't read a lot of Silver and Golden Age Shazam. Attacks Ragdoll.
And then
Lady Vic shows up to fight Floyd. And then, I don't know who these two nitwits are. Pistolera and...
Double Dare?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know... I'm pretty sure Pistorella was like a Batman, probably like a one-shot, no pun intended, Batman villain.
Yeah. No,
so
I think you're right.
I think that's just Gail pulling, like, okay, who can I just use and no one will care about to get the fight scene on?
Yeah, I like that. I'm reading in Thunderbolts, the Masters of Evil, that lineup that's in there under Crimson Cowl, and it's like, you are some D-list people, man. But I like how that plays out over the 2 pages. Is the top 2 panels are Ragdoll, the middle 2 panels are Deadshot, and the bottom 2 panels are Knockout and Vandal Scandal Savage, and then it flips on the next page. And when Knockout gets shot with this like tag, and it's an explosive, and she chucks Scandal out of the apartment window into the bay. And I forgot, I'm reading this, I was like, when did they kill Knockout? I don't remember this. And then we cut back, and Catman's in the Mad Hatter's main room, and he's been hitting the hook up. He's sitting there in his top hat, and nothing. Ugh. The only thing keeping his junk from being seen is a skull between his legs, which I have no idea why that's there.
Through the grace of Brad Walker, which his Psycho and Mad Hatter in this are those are the 2 he draws the best in this whole miniseries. Are just these 2 weird little freaks.
Oh my god, it is so good. All right, so now we're up to issue 2. Again, same credits. Let me confirm that. But it's got a love. Why don't you talk about what you think about the cover for a while? I pull up the credits.
Okay, so we got the main shot of it is Pistorella with her back to the camera and just kind of both pistols out. While in the side we got headshot of Catman, a couple of villains who I'm not sure who though they're supposed to be, and then Deadshot down at the bottom, and it's a really nice kind of like reddish orange cover, and very well. Oh, I just noticed you can see Pistorella's bra through her shirt. So
yeah. I think the middle 2 people are Knockout and Scandal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's another Carl Kerschel. This time teamed up with Stephanie Peru, did the art. The exact same artistic credits. This was published on June 5th, 2006. Cover dated August 2006. And I do like that cover. I like all the covers in the series. I think this is an era of really good covers a lot of the time. And now the Mad Hatter's added to the lineup. And the Society regulars are Dr. Psycho, Cheshire, Iback, Lady Vic, Double Dare, which is the Marceau brother and sister, and then Pistolera, who gets what she deserves. And I really like this one, and now I read these over the last 2 weeks, so some of it's going to kind of have to come back. I like how we see this one starts out with Scandal interrogating Pistolera, and Ragdoll is still fighting Iback.
And then we cut to Lady Vic having Deadshot at her mercy, and then Deadshot earlier had tried to get his wife and daughter out of the way. Eventually, the wife comes back, shoots Lady Vic in the arm, and Deadshot's about to murder all these people right in front of his daughter, and that's kind of the only thing stopping him.
Yeah, I love that. I love Floyd Lawton. He's such a good character.
He's really good, but when you can get him wrong, you can get him wrong.
Well, I don't know, because I haven't read the modern Suicide Squad, so maybe they get him wrong?
They make him a little more heroic than I think they should.
Oh, okay. I don't mind. I have to read that. See, that makes me want to read it. As long as they're trying to do stuff with them, I'll be happy with that. And I don't mind Harley Quinn when she's written well. So, I just think sometimes some characters are around too much. They don't, Wolverine doesn't need to be on 6 teams and in every other book.
That's kind of my feeling.
Yeah. So, and I like
We have
how Ragdoll hurts Iback. He reaches down his throat, and what is he squeezing?
If I remember, I thought you said he basically has he grabbed steak knives and basically had them sticking in the bottom of his stomach or something. Is what I thought he was saying here.
Oh my God, it's great, but that's how you knock him out. And then we cut to Bangkok, and she gets back. Scandal gets back up to their apartment and finds Knockout, and she's not dead, but all of her skin's burned off.
And then kind of from there, it's like, okay, hey, is everyone else being attacked, or is it just us?
Yeah, and I love it that she lays down. Catman, he gets the message. They're all being attacked, but he goes, I don't get it. No one came near me. Did you get a look at who hit Knockout? About that, Catman, I wonder, how fast can you get to Bangkok? And she's laying there on the ground. And then we cut back to the torture scene. It's just I mean, I like it. She scares Pistolera. She tortures her.
And then she's debating whether, do I kill you? Do I send a message leaving you alive? And eventually Deadshot just off screen just shoots her right between the eyes. And
yeah,
she goes, I think this wants a kiss, Lawden. Thank you. So Deadshot maybe being a little merciful here.
Yeah. I like Mad Hatter. He's hanging out, and now they're back on another. They head up to this monastery in the Himalayas.
Which I thought was Nanda Parbat for a good chunk of this, honestly.
I would have liked that. But they're looking for Cheshire. And there's a nice big fight scene. I'm digging it all. And then Cheshire. I like Cheshire as a bad guy.
Simone writes her just so evil. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I think she writes her better than Wolfman kind of does in. Because I liked her when Roy came back in Titans. But this is where we meet William Jr. Little baby. And they haven't taken Ragdoll because Ragdoll's in the hospital.
Right, which I'm not really sure why he's in the hospital, because I thought he was able to walk away from Iback, so...
I think I think it's not even set off camera.
Yeah.
I think... Oh, I'm scrolling back here. And no, there's no reference to it at all that I remember.
No, I really don't. I just read this 2 days ago, and it's did something, was there a rewrite and they just forgot to add something, or?
Well, I think it's mentioned in the last issue that he was still kind of recovering from what happened, because remember he falls out of the plane or something?
Does he?
He gets hurt in the first issue.
Yeah. So, okay, I can go with that.
Yeah, and then Psycho shows up and is going to kill him, and that's the end of the issue. I like that. So now on to 3. Which I love this cover, which is basically I guess that's Psycho's hand?
I was thinking it might be Vandal Savage's hand, just beating someone to death with I was about to say a T-Rex bone, but I know T-Rexes and caveman weren't around at the same time.
I think that's right, and it's his homage. It's the artist Carl Kiesel's homage to 2001.
Yep.
Because Vandal Savage is a caveman.
Yeah.
And same creative team, everything again. This one was cover dated September 2006 and was published on August 9th, 2006. Lineup is the same as our new same 6 members. Supporting cast, we get to meet. This is Giffen's Doom Patrol, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is the Doom Patrol that I first read. So these are all who I think of when I think of Doom Patrol made.
Wow, That's a weird one to think about.
It is.
Because I'd forgotten that Beast Boy, Vox, I kind of like Vox as a name for Mal.
I think it's probably his best one.
It's better than Gabriel. And that Guardians costume. Oh, God, I just got him cheap, but I got the Silver Age and the Bronze Age Teen Titans omnibuses. Mm-hmm. And that's everything from their creation up to right before Wolfman Perez.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it's a Doom Patrol: Mento, Elastigirl, Robot Man, Negative Man, Beast Boy, Vox, and Bumblebee. Folks, Bumblebee will be appearing in Mark Waid's World's Finest Teen Titans, and I'm very excited about that book. And the bad guy is Vandal Savage. As we're going to find out, the real bad guy in this whole series is Vandal Savage and not the Society. But this one, I like this cover. With you've got the arm with the bone and the Rolex watch, and you got Mad Hatter, got Knockout looking down at Scandal, and Lawton firing both his wrist guns. These are really nice covers. I just love them.
They're simplistic is the wrong stylistic, very stylistic, I think.
Yeah. They're more like movie posters.
That's it.
It's very much like a movie poster. I like we cut to Catman's visiting Ragdoll.
Ragdoll, by the way, looking very Gollum-ish, which is something I think is kept throughout the entire run, which I really do like.
Yeah, I really like it. And they're just kind of talking, and then Scandal's talking to the nurse, but this nurse has been altered some way by
Psycho. I think has put a whammy
Psycho
on her.
Because she hits the alarm button, the cops show up, they try to take out everybody, and a fight ensues, which is good action. Gail Simone writes better action than a lot of people.
She just knows the pacing, knows how to kind of use the environment that she's written around the characters. Like Catman's throwing all the trays, whatever he can in the hospital room.
Oh yeah, he has Ragdoll jump on his back, and they go out the window, and Scandal is there waiting, and then we're back home, and they're having a big ham dinner.
Which Mad Hatter has put hats on all of the fruit, and just you weird little.
He's a weird little dude. I love him in this book, though. I love him in this book. I forgot he was in it, and I said, "Why is the Mad Hatter?" Okay, I remember. Oh, wow, yeah, this is good.
I just gotta say this real quick. Brad Walker's Deadshot. I cannot think of anyone but Clark Gable with the way he draws him.
Oh yeah, especially when he's looking at the orange with the top hat, and he's making this funny face with the cigarette in his mouth. So it's awesome. And then we cut away to Knockout's room, and she's under all these bandages. She wakes up, she unwraps herself, and Scandal's asleep on the bed, her head on the bed, and Knockout's all healed.
Thank you, Lord Darkseid, for the gift of regeneration. Thank you, Wet Blue Orb, for the gift of shampoo, which, yeah.
All right, and I like how she shows up buck naked to breakfast.
With the hair covering just barely anything.
Yeah.
And so begins Gail Simone just making sure she gets every character of the Secret Six naked at some point.
Oh yeah. And then we get to see Scandal is having these nightmares about her father wanting her to sire him a grandchild, and wants it to be Catman, wants it to be Thomas, and she's like, nope. And then she shows up. She wakes up and Scandal's gone, and then Knockout's gone, but she's just getting back. It's just a nice moment. And then the six of them go on their next mission, which is to attack the Vandal Savage. And when they're in the helicopter, the programmed Ragdoll, been programmed by Psycho, attacks them.
And again, it's one of those things where, there are points, especially as we go, where you forget that Ragdoll is very dangerous here, because for all of his weird little asides and whatnot, he'll kill you in a second.
Yeah, yeah. Because he's crazy like his grandfather.
God, you just covered that.
Because he's the third ragdoll. He's the third. This one, this is the third ragdoll. This is the grandson of the Golden Age ragdoll.
Yes, and you just covered that issue in the Opal City Confidential, and
it's such a good issue.
God, as I've been listening to more true crime on Cults, I'm like, oh wow, this ragdoll makes more and more sense.
And I've had to take a pause from like some nerd podcasts, so I fill it in with like history ones or true crime ones. And yeah, I kind of thought the same, And my wife watches a lot of Dateline. I asked her, is it because you're planning on killing me? She goes, no, I've learned that you just get caught. And I said, well, what happens if you get so mad you do it? She goes, I'm just going to go, he deserved it. Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah. Split his head open with a sling blade.
Yeah. So I forget what happens to Hatter.
So at one point, like, Ragdoll knocks Knockout out of the helicopter. He's about to, like, kill her. And Catman just cuts his arm off, like, clean in two. In Knockout and Ragdoll's forearm just go crash into the ground.
Oh yeah, and then he dives. Ragdoll dives at Catman, and Catman just kicks him out of the airplane. And he's just, I don't know. Okay, maybe it's just because he's crazy. I mean, Hatter's crazy, but they all get down on the ground. They kind of forgive Ragdoll.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I was under someone's control, blah blah blah. And it ends with, the comic ends with this, they're all standing around the seizing Mad Hatter, and that's where the Doom Patrol show up. So that's a pretty quick issue. There's not a lot in this, because this fight is like 7 pages.
That was one thing when I was rereading this, is like, I'm like, oh man, how much am I gonna have to talk with each issue about? Because sometimes, like, this is more of like 2 scenes of a movie than it is like a big chapter.
Yeah, I think this reads, if I had sat down and read it in a trade or whatever in a single sitting, I think it reads like an extra long action movie. I think her pacing's fine. There's some negativity toward her in fandom, and I have no idea what it is.
I don't either.
So I mean, I find her. I put her on the par with Ostrander.
She's easily top 5 for me.
And she's written some really good stuff, and this is really good. So this is issue
4, yeah.
4. Same creative people and everything, which is nice. Roll call is the same. The Doom Patrol the same. Antagonists are Vandal Savage, Dr. Psycho, and Cheshire. This was originally published on September 27th, 2006. Cover dated October 2006. This one starts with they're in Kyoto, Japan, at Vandal Savage's house, and Dr. Psycho and Cheshire are there to talk business. And he serves them Grundy.
So, this is one thing. It's like, so here's my favorite supervillain eating one of my other favorite villains. Not something I can say a whole lot.
Oh my God! And Cheshire just puking, and Psycho is like, whatever. But I was wondering why the meat was white. I was like, is that a color? Oh no! Now I remember.
It's just zombie meat. You're fine.
Yeah. So, and then we cut to the Doom Patrol, and trying to intimidate the Secret Six, and then the fight breaks.
And I guess, like, I don't think of the Doom Patrol usually as heavy hitters, but here they really put the Six back on the back foot throughout this entire fight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I've never read Giffen's Doom Patrol. I mean, I have not read a lot of Doom Patrol. I mean, I've read the first 5 or 6 issues of the original stuff. I've read the Cooperberg stuff. I've read the stuff that's in Titans. I read a little bit of the Cooperberg, Larson.
I know Morrison
and Greg and Steve Lytle.
Well, I mean, like, they're typically just not, like, fighty characters, and...
No, they're not. It's more weird adventure kind of crap.
So them being in a fight is kind of out of the norm, but it shows, like, oh, they could throw down with the best of them if they had to.
This is I looked at this lineup and went, okay, I get this. This is a really good lineup. I like Bumblebee. I like Vox.
And, like, Bumblebee, they changed her look to be more like the Teen Titans cartoon that was going on at the time. So I really like that.
I do like that. I think she should be a regular in Titans or in some other book, especially in Titans, because any superhero team. I don't think DC has enough black female characters, and she's a good one because she's a scientist. She's smart. I think she could be like Captain Marvel and be the leader of a team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But I do like the designs of these characters, and I think Walker draws them well, and I do like the fight sequence a great deal. But and I agree with you that them as heavy hitters this is very much they're just a regular generic super team, which is not what they are. But I don't mind it. I'd like to read that Giffen stuff sometimes to see how it.
So the first 7 of those, like so in college I was only able to read like the first 7, and then money got tight, but it was really good where it wasn't Morrison weird, but it was still Giffen weird, and then. They had Metal Men backups where it was Giffen, DeMatteis, and McGuire drawing those, and I would have killed to have like a 100-page or 100-issue series of that, just that.
Oh, that'd be good. I need to check those out. Those are hard to get, man. The trades are almost near impossible to get. It's just insane. And they didn't even print. They only printed the first half of the run in trade. They never finished it.
There's a reason most of my comic back issue find list is just stuff they will never republish, and that's on there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's just really, really weird. But I like this fight scene. You got Robot Man. I like it. Elastigirl tries to take care of Catman, and then Ragdoll cuts her Achilles tendon.
Oh, that was real painful just to think about.
Oh yeah, and Mento is crazy.
As he usually is. I can't think of how many times he's ever been helpful.
Yeah, I do like that costume though, with the old '60s kind of sci-fi helmet and the black unitards. But I like it. And then we cut back. I like the stuff with Cheshire. I mean, this one just runs really well. The fight scene it's basically one long fight scene. Finally, Scandal gets Mad Hatter under control.
And Mad Hatter puts a whammy on Elastigirl to the point where she's almost going to bite Robot Man in half.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to mess her teeth up. I don't care how big she...
Oh, yeah. She bites off his head and then spits it out.
Oh, and then she's going to try and do the same to Beast Boy.
And that's where Scandal slaps him to make him stop using his mind control power.
Yeah, because that's a little too far, I guess, even for that.
Yeah. And then we cut back to the house, and, Ragdoll is in a hospital bed. They've sewn his hand back on. Lawton talks to his ex-girlfriend and his kid, and then Knockout and him start drinking. Mad Hatter is naked and covering everything in hats. Creepy little dude. Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, I think that makes him such a well-rounded character, because he goes from just like, you're so skeezy, to you're not that bad, to you're a good teammate, to you're crazy. It's Scandal keeps having dreams, nightmares. She wakes up and she goes looking for Knockout, and Knockout is underneath Floyd.
Yeah.
We will find out next. So we're now on to 5. This is a great cover where we had Dr. Psycho and Ragdoll reaching up, and Psycho's trying to put on Ragdoll's mask.
And Ragdoll's broken hand just reaching up, trying to grab it.
Yeah, and then behind him you see
like a TV thing of like all of the Secret Six.
Well, I'm confused about part of this. Is that Ragdoll neck between Scandal.
Oh, I think like it's like two monitors like that aren't like overlapping exactly. That's weird. I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's okay because it's only 5 of them. It doesn't have the Mad Hatter in it. Um, exact same creators on everything. This issue was released on 3 days before my 42nd birthday. Christ.
I was in high school at this time, so how does that help you, Ross?
Oh my God. My wife would have been, I don't know. My wife's 14 years younger than me, and sometimes I'll be talking about college, and I'll be telling her some like bawdy story, and she'll go, I was in 6th grade, and I said, I feel creepy now.
Don't like to do that too often, but occasionally.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So this was cover dated December 2006. And same roll call, same villains, not much change. Okay, this show's House of Mysteries in Kentucky in here.
Okay, but I thought it said House of Secrets
but maybe
was in...
Oh, okay.
So I think maybe someone on the wiki got that wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is House of Secrets. So I like this cover. What do you think about this one?
So, like, again, I think it's good. The weird monitor thing, now that you pointed it out to me, is throwing me, but I really like it.
Yeah, I just think the ragdoll looks like a future member, not that member. It doesn't look like ragdoll. So we jump into Scandal, seeing in these 6 panels, you see her heartbreak, seeing her partner having sex with her friend, her scanning the room for like naked clothes and bullets and everything. Floyd tried to, okay, listen, hang on a sec, I know this looks bad, and then you see the anger in her ear, and then the title page, the splash page, is her attacking Floyd.
Floyd is lucky his throat was not slashed 6 ways from Sunday right here.
Yeah, because you think it kind of looks like it is, and she's just kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And she wants to kill him, and then knockout, and Catman shows up, and he gets a broken nose for his troubles.
And again, I think Catman, Scandal, and Knockout all naked here, or Deadshot, and things are just getting covered up like it's an Austin Powers movie.
Oh yeah. But I do like. I mean, again, she's doing a lot of action. There's some, there's a lot of conversation. Maybe a little word. Yeah, Mad Hatter shows up after the fight wearing nothing but a top hat. And Knockout just doesn't get it. To her,
like it's like from Apocalypse, we always celebrate after a huge victory. What's that?
Yeah, and Scandal leaves, takes their jet and flies off to Daddy. And then the final member, the other members are there. And they're making some plans here. I like this. I like a lot of the. I am digging the art. I do like his kind of cartoony face on Floyd. Every time Floyd makes a face, it's great. I don't know what page
I miss numbers on pages in comics.
Yeah, well, I'm on a digital version. It should have a damn page.
Oh yeah, especially for.
But they're talking about what they're going to do.
I just like having a team have downtime like this, even if it's only for a couple of pages.
And I like that they're talking about where could she gone, and Hatter goes. The Matter goes, as I imply, she stood to fly. And Naka goes, what are you saying, Hatter? Where'd she go? She did say goodbye. Do you deny? She went to die. She went to die, is my reply. And he's just crazy. And Matter tells him, it's like she's going to Japan to her dad, and and I'm smarter. Don't you really know how I know because I'm smarter than you? Truth be told, get me down, you giant minx. I'm smarter than anyone. And then they all figure it out.
Mad Hatter bugged her clothes. Well, he bugged everyone's clothes.
Yeah, he's such a sneaky little freak. And they're getting ready to go out there. I love it. She lands at the house or the castle, and all these. Why would you work for Vandal Savage?
It's maybe healthier than working for the Joker.
Yeah, well, you'll get paid while you're alive,
yeah.
I guess.
And
as
I just love this look of Vandal Savage so much.
I do too. It's kind of a variation on the Silver Age black and white costume.
Oh yeah, it's not like it's not like a Nehru jacket, but it's really close.
Yeah, the trim on the boots. It's a really nice costume. Always did like it. We get a flashback to Mad Hatter's origin and why he's so creepy.
And I really do like kind of the Lewis Carroll style that is used throughout of it.
Yeah, I do like that he's sitting and then Walker draws the sif that looks like it came from a late 19th century novel.
I'm always a fan whenever you can kind of play with things a bit like that.
Yeah. And as they fly off, we see that Psycho and she sees Psycho there for the first time, Scandal, and she's not happy about it. The plane lands, and they just immediately start taking out Savage's men.
2 on each turret, and they're already dead.
Yeah. And Scandal gets up and takes some chopsticks and jabs him right in her daddy's neck.
Hey, Vandal Savage deserves it.
Oh, yeah. And then Psycho shows up, and Mad Hatter Psycho shows up at the fight, and he's talking shit. And he's being controlled by Lawton. He's controlling Lawton, who's about to shoot him in the head, and that's when Hatter comes in. And because the Mad Hatter has the same power set, that he can control people, and he's torturing him. And then Cheshire stabs the Hatter in the back, and that's the splash page for the final of issue 5. It's her standing there with a knife in his back, Psycho grinning, and the other 4 Secret Six members just kind of looking, oops, what? The look on Catman's face.
Catman has some weird faces in like this issue, and I think like the next one, where he gets really rubbery.
Oh yeah, I like it on. At this point I'm used to it on Lawton, because every time Lawton has to mug for the camera, does something great. So this is the 4th cover, same creative team. This is not my favorite of it. I do like the way Savage looks a little like a Cro-Magnon.
Yeah, the rest of it I'm not as big on.
Yeah, the baby, it's not as good as the other ones.
Oh, I think we missed the Doom Patrol cover, but that was a real good one. It was the Doom Patrol smashing through the cover of the first issue.
Oh yeah, I will post all 6 of these when I put this. This episode's going to go up. We're recording it on what is today? The 7th of July, 8th of July, and this will post on the 9th. But I'll post all the covers a little later, while I start editing. But I do like that we see it starts with the Mad Hatter laying on the ground, dying, and in his mind he's in Wonderland, and all his friends and enemies are there, and Cheshire is the Cheshire Cat, and he sees his own grave, and that's he's talking to Alice. He walks into his own grave, and Alice stops him, and he wakes up to the fact that it's not Alice, it's Scandal.
Scandal with her ass right towards the camera, and just, how did a mere child produce such a ferocious derriere? Like 2 ripe balloons glued together with love. And Mad Hatter, my God, man, read the room for a second.
I know. When I was reading this by panels, and I kind of stopped. This was the next page I had to read. I had to stop, reading to do something else. And that panel kept coming up, and I kept getting distracted. So I'd open it back up, open the app, and that panel was like, what the hell is going on? But it's a little funny. We cut to Savage. She's Scandalous stabbed her dad and pinned him to a wall with blades, and killed a bunch of his henchmen, and has another one what I like is he's freeing himself, and Savage goes, well, that's this outfit ruined. Fetch me a kimono, Tasaki, and then commit seppuku for failing to protect your lord. My Lord Savage, I regret to announce that I shall unfortunately be unable to perform either duty. And then he dies, and Savage goes, forgive me, Tasaki, when one is immortal, I'm afraid the transient and brief lives of employees cannot be of much concern. I'll need your sword. I'll need the sword, thank you. Still, the fortitude, and just like going, whatever, man. It's just, he's such a jerk. I love Vandal Savage as a
He's
villain.
every great Bond villain just rolled into one and made immortal, and I'll be here for it to the end.
Yeah, and I like that we cut back to the battle, and all these guys are attacking Knockout, and she's just throwing them, picking them up and chucking them, outside of the castle walls. And Scandal gets out there and gives her a big hug. Aww. And they have a big kiss while the rest are still fighting.
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Was Kill Bill out by this point? I think so. So, Crazy 88
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, I like it. And then Cheshire and Catman have a great battle. It starts on one page. The second page, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images go zigzagging down the page of them fighting. It's a really nice page.
Wait, I might have. Oh, yep, there it is. Yep.
Yeah. And then they come to. She's just turned on. Let's do it. Right here, with the battle raging around us. Make love to me, Thomas. And he's like, Cheshire, your womb is the most god-awful, dangerous weapon I've ever faced. Worse than that, I can't believe I'm considering it.
It's stuff like this where it's like, yeah, Gail Simone is one of the best writers because she can deliver lines like this.
Yeah. It is great. And then Cheshire goes, at last, someone who really gets me. The antidote for safe patch is out of here. My only offer, Thomas. And the fight keeps going on. They keep battling, and they're looking for the Scandal's like, where's the Hatter? He's in the house, and he with a knife, and he comes up, the knife that was jabbed in his back, and he comes after Dr. Psycho, and they have it's a very great page, 4 panels. Hatter's in silhouette, and then the bottom panel is him coming out of silhouette, and he's incredibly crazed. And then we cut right back to the battle, and there is Vandal Savage in a bathrobe and 2 swords on the roof.
Like, look, this is how I plan to go out, so I can't throw down.
And all the Secret Six are, don't look up, don't look up, don't look up. But no, they're getting ready for it. And then we cut back to the Hatter basically cutting off. I don't know what he does to Psycho other than, we see him cut his face.
I don't remember if we ever see Psycho past this at all either.
No, we do. We see him after. Oh. It's all done. We don't see him kill anything. We just see feet.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird. But then we cut back to the Savage. Vandal Savage and Scandal Savage are fighting the 6. Catman goes looking for Mad Hatter, finds him laying on the hallway, and Psycho laying next to him, supposedly dead, you'd guess. But it's like a soap unless you see the funeral or whatever. They can come back, and Vandal Savage jabs a samurai sword right through Scandal's hand. Yeah, but she keeps on fighting.
Of course.
And they fall off the roof, and they're hanging on. She's holding him up, and he just lets go. And then the Mad Hatter is on the ledge, and he's going to start cutting off fingers of Scandal's. And Ragdoll convinces him, don't, she's your friend. They bring him up. And then some time passes, and Ragdoll and Mad Hatter are just sitting on the roof by themselves.
Can I just do this? In you understand about the hats and how I see the hats? Of course we do, Mr. Tetch. Friends, it's almost a miracle. He's just looking out into the sunrise, sunset, whatever it is. And then Ragdoll just shoves him right off the end. Unfortunately, I'm afraid there's only one only room for one dandy freak on this team, Mr. Tetch. Ragdoll, you ready? Coming! Oh, just Ragdoll is this weird, psychotic little freak, and he only gets better from here. I just love this.
Oh, yeah.
And I love how they use Mad Hatter throughout this arc, but I don't know if having him and Ragdoll as both members ongoing would have worked. It might have been a little too much.
Well, yeah, I think that's why they get rid of it, because I can't remember. I'd have to look ahead to see who is the new sixth member.
I won't spoil. It's not. Mad Hatter's not on there, and the other two are kind of an interesting thing that I'll love when we get to talk about them.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of not hold off reading it. But it ends with them there, and we find Ragdoll has a bunch of monkeys dressed as Parademon.
Which, those will come back throughout the ongoing, which I do like.
Oh, yeah. Because this is the last mini, and next is Volume 3, which is the ongoing that lasted like 50 issues,
So
right?
there's actually a Birds of Prey... like to do a crossover with the Birds of Prey and an arc there. I'll find the issues for you.
Yeah.
Then the ongoing goes.
I do want to read that.
It's like 36 issues with some crossovers in between there, and then it ended with New 52, and then a couple years later there was a Gail Simone came back for, I think it was like a 14 issue run there, and then we're done.
I wish they'd do a Secret Six Omni. That'd be good. You could do everything but that post 52 in one volume. It'd be a fat one. But DC likes them. They love the big ones.
I do, and I know exactly what cover I would use. I think a lot about a trade collection.
Yeah, it'd be great. Overall, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad we talked about it. I know, folks, we went kind of quick because doing 6 issues is really quick. There's a lot going on. If you sit down, it's on the app. And read it. Read it in a sitting. I think you could do it in an afternoon, and I think you'd really enjoy it. I think the pacing is real good, and I like Gail Simone. I just think she writes good characters. I like these characters. These are characters that I enjoy because of these 2 minis that I read in the early 2000s, and it really it scratched that Suicide Squad itch for me. I just think it holds up. If you like Ostrander's Suicide Squad and you like Gail Simone, you're going to love this. And Brad Walker, because he doesn't come back for the next
No, this is the only time Brad Walker's in. After this, the main artists are either Nicholas Scott or Jim Calafiore.
Oh, God, I love both of them. Nicholas Scott's Doctor Who stuff was great. I've been following her since she did some of that, and she did some FF with Don Slott.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And Jimmy Cat, when I'm have you ever read Exiles?
No. But I think I know Calafiore mostly through he did like Aquaman with Peter David for a bit. That's right.
Oh, that'd be good. I'd like that. But yeah, basically when they're Exiles, which is one of my favorite X-Men titles, and it's kind of like this. It's very Mission Impossible meets alternate realities, because there's the team changes over time as someone's timeline is righted, they're replaced.
Oh, that's where they'll go to an Earth where Gambit has become Professor X or something weird like that.
And it's great. And at some point it would jump between different artists, and Jimmy Calafiore. Each arc would be a different writer. Different artists. At the same time, because it started with McCone.
Okay.
And then McCone doesn't do anything more than a year or two, and then it switched, and I can't remember off that. That is a run that I still have. And they need to do Omnis because they would get bought immediately. And I don't have the first. I had the first 3 trades, so I don't have 1 through something because but the trades came out, I sold the issues. So, but it's worth it. Jimmy Calafiore I love his art. I really, really love his art. And this Brad Walker stuff is really good. I know he did Thunderbolts. He did some of the Luke Cage Thunderbolts. And some other stuff, and that's coming out at the end of the year in Omni, which I'm really looking forward to that. Well, folks, that's it for the Secret Six. Let us know what you thought. If this is something you read, I will be posting some images today. We'll post them the day before when you hear this. So just let us know what you think. What do you think of the artist? What do you think of this title? What do you think of Miss Simone? She's a good follow on Twitter. I follow her. I like it. So let me ask you a couple things real quick, Kirby. So do you think... I've read these months apart, but do you think that, what do you think of this mini compared to Villains United? Which
I think this one worked. I like the art a little more in Villains United, but I think the writing really crystallizes for Simone and what she's gonna do going forward. Because she's got all of the characters, she got the main characters down. Ragdoll is different from how he was in Villains United, but here is where he will be going forward. I think it's a really well-paced arc that's allowed to just kind of flow. This is like the big summer movie before we go into the ongoing. So this is one where you don't need to read it to get onto the ongoing, but it helps a lot. And again, like you said, if they would do a big compendium, this is you would want this in there.
Yeah, and I think it's more like what we're going to see in the ongoing. This is so much because Villains United was something which was an event, and she was hired to tell a specific story.
Right, which I don't want to say hampered, but there were certain beats she had to get to Infinite Crisis, whereas here she was allowed to tell a Gail Simone story of the Secret Six.
Yeah.
And that does make all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Was she writing Birds of Prey at the same time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think this and the Birds of Prey were going on at the same time, but I think the next time we come back for Secret Six, that's where she's kind of holding off the baton, because I don't think she was writing both at the same time. I could be wrong on that, though.
See, I've never read Birds of Prey.
Yep. They've just collected most of her run, except for like a year, and I don't know if that's like there was an artist who they don't want to give money to or something, but it's been collected, so it's
okay. Yeah, sometimes someone's problematic and they don't want to give money. I get.
I could be completely wrong on that, but because I've not checked.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm gonna get the Immortal Hulk, but the artist on it, I did read it because it's Al Ewing. I always read Al Ewing, but it's coming out of Omni. It's like I'd like to finish it because I got to about issue 35 or 40. And just fell off because I wasn't buying the comics to save money. So, but I'm looking forward to a couple months down the line. I'm going to ask you so Bird of Prey crossover would be next,
yeah,
right?
And then after that, then we'll finally get to the ongoing. Yeah.
Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to enjoy that. Well, folks, that's it for this week. Next weekend, I do not. Maybe talking Thunderbolts. By then, I'm almost done reading Thunderbolts Omni 1, and it ends in a weird place. I thumbed through ahead, and it's like, really? Okay, but so I'll probably do a little overview of that. Danger Street has come out. I am not going to the comic shop until next Tuesday because I spent way too much last weekend on omnibuses. And I'm on a pause with omnibus buying, other than the ones that I pre-ordered, until the new year when Rom. I think the next one I'm gonna put money down on is Rom. Excited. And I know I covered Micronauts 1. The reason I only covered the one issue is when the Omni comes out, I will probably get people to come on and discuss those, at least the first 12 issues of that title, because it's an amazing. That is a great first year of any comic. It's one of the best. So Kirby, what are you reading now?
Right now, new ongoing stuff. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Usagi Yojimbo, written and drawn by Stan Sakai. So that's always going to be a good time, no matter what.
Yeah, I've never read you something. I feel like a bad comic fan.
You gotta. I know you just said no to more, but Dark Horse has put out like big trades of all of like their run, and I have legitimately learned things about Japanese history and culture through this comic than I have in like some actual history courses.
I think I need to do that. I've started listening to the Comics Couple Counseling podcast. I have to jump around because I listen to because they do couples kind of analysis on character couples. And they did Scott and Jean from the X-Men, and I got that. But then the next one was from Saga, and I have not read but the first 20 issues of Saga, and that was years ago. So I'm kind of jumping around to their interviews, and they are big Usagi Yojimbo fans. But yeah, I've been listening to the more recent episodes, and this one I just listened to was Gene Yun. I'm going to pronounce it Yang, the creator of American Born Chinese, but he also did Terrific's Monkey Prince, which I've read a bunch of them. I've read the first 6 or 7 issues of Monkey Prince. I liked it a great deal. He did the new Super-Man, the Chinese Superman, and he's done some of his own stuff, which like American Born Chinese, now a Disney show starring Michelle Yeoh. So I kind of want to read this and some of his other indie stuff. But he took over from Lemire on Terrifics. It was Lemire, then him, then Lemire, and then him again. So I've read some of his comic books, his superhero stuff, but I want to read his independent stuff. But check out Couples Counseling. They get good interviews. They did 2 with Tom King in the last 3 months that were really good. And like Danger Street came out Tuesday.
Oh, I didn't. It wasn't.
Or maybe it's
maybe it's
coming
Tuesday,
out this
yeah.
Yeah. So when I get that, I will read it. It is The Creeper. So I'll discuss that and The Creeper by Steve Ditko in first issue special, which I remember as being a good one. But I've discovered reading the first issue special issues that I really prefer, and the Prince Gavin Starman for Opal City Confidential, that I like 70s Ditko, I think, if he's inked well.
He's very inker dependent. Because his Legion is not great.
Oh my God. Dave Hunt on him is the wrong choice. Really bad. But Romain Tangel on him on the Adventure Comics Starman is so good. So good. So I enjoy it. All right, folks. As always, I'll be back next week with something I hope you find entertaining. And until then, be smart, be safe, please be kind to each other. Just do it. And read some comics.